We're live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, and our next guest is the president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, Artis Stevens. Artis, welcome to the Odd Couple.
What's happening?
What's up, fellas?
All right.
Thanks for having me on, man.
No doubt.
It's great to have you, and both Rob and I have been big brothers. So
Yes.
we fully support what you guys are doing, man.
It's very important work.
Yep.
I mean, nobody can make it on their own. Nobody.
right.
We need other people who have lived and experienced things and can give us some guidance.
Yep,
That's
no doubt.
absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So what do you tell us about an event like this with the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
How big is it for Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and what are some of the things you guys do?
Yeah, it's huge. About a couple years ago, we launched a relationship with the NFL Inspire Change, and that's all about focus on social justice, right? Social justice in the community. But when you think about an organization like ours, right, we've been around 100 years. But even though we've been around 100 years, there's still a lot of people don't know about what we do, right, and the connection that we make and how we change lives and communities. So with the NFL, what we decided to do was to sort of launch this campaign. And we said, well, let's do something creative. So it's like launching on Monday, and it's going to go to the draft period. So as the NFL is launching like the draft of drafting new players, we said, okay, well, let's launch a draft to draft new mentors, right? So we got 30,000 kids, man, that's on our waiting list right now.
Wow.
Most of those kids are boys, and most of those boys are boys of color, right? So we have a more focused effort on how we recruit men and how we recruit men of color, because we know representation is so important, right? Not that they don't need diverse mentors, right? But we know for a lot of men, it's not that they don't want to, but we got to create the space where men feel comfortable, they feel like it's a place for them. So we're going through it right now, and we need like partners, we need mentors, we need volunteers, we need people who are willing to give their time.
As Chris knows, I'm a mentor to a lot in the journalism field, and I have been a big brother because I know how important it is. And people think that they don't have time. You can make time. It's not about spending a gazillion hours with somebody, but it's some quality time with people. What I like to do a lot of times is I'll take guys to a ball game. You get 3 hours of undivided attention to listen to them, to hear their concerns, you know what I mean, to have a conversation. The ball game's going on, but we're talking.
That's right.
Nobody gives you that kind of time anymore, and you can work through some things, or, give them some confidence or give them some guidance in that time, and it's the greatest thing you can do.
Rob, one of the things we hear the most, to your point, one of the things we always hear about people and their challenge with volunteering and mentoring is like, I ain't perfect.
You don't have to be.
I can't do this because who am I? I'm not going to be a role model for it. I can't. But I always tell people, you don't have to be perfect. You just got to be present, right? Present and persistent in a kid's life. And when you do that, when you bring your authentic self to the table, kids feel that. They attract to that. And that's the best mentorship that you can bring to the table.
I agree totally. And the thing, too, is for guys out there listening, I enjoyed it, too. It's not like you're just going, okay, let me do this good deed and help this kid. I mean, I have 2 daughters, so I didn't have a son. Or don't have a son. And so I had a young guy. Yeah. I don't think it's happening.
Your wife is like, what?
But I had a young guy who was about 13 at the time, and I treated him like my son. Took him out, talked to him, took him out with my daughters and stuff, and we went bowling and all that. But my point is, I enjoyed it too. So as a mentor, you will enjoy it. Don't look at it as drudgery and,
that's right,
okay, I should do this, let me go ahead and do it. No, you'll have fun with it. And so I love what you guys are doing, and anything we can do to get the word out even more so, because like you said, I know when I did it, they said they needed more mentors.
That's right.
And things like that. So,
Here's a picture. Off the air, we talked about it, and I want to share this with you. But here it is. And you can see up here, I was in the Big Brother program back in 1991. There's Antonio right there. Antonio Lowe from Cincinnati, Chris. I was in my 20s, 27. And here he is now, 30 years later. And,
I love it.
And we got together, and the best part of it was we got to also share. I got to share with his son, right there who's a football player now in college,
great.
and the three of us. Can you imagine that?
That's the beauty.
He was in high school back then.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. And by the way, I'm loving that high top you had back then, too.
Did you see
that was smooth, man. Smooth cut.
Hey,
right?
Back then, I was, for a young guy, I was young
you're looking
back
good,
then,
bro. You're looking good. But you know what I'll say?
He's old and crusty now.
Right.
Chris, when you said the idea of reciprocal, and we call it reciprocal mentoring, right? The idea that you get what we hear from our we call them bigs. Our volunteers are bigs. The young people we serve are little. Y'all know that very well because you're involved in the program. But what our bigs tell us all the time is that they were impacted more than the impact they thought they were bringing in the lives of a young person.
Right.
And that's really what reciprocal mentoring is all about. And if people want to get involved, right, it's this idea like you can go to our website, bbbs.org, and to learn more and to put in the zip code wherever you are. We got 230 agencies across the country serving 5,000 communities.
Wow.
So you can go almost anywhere. Find the big brothers, big sisters, get involved. And here's the cool thing. Say that you don't want to do one-to-one mentoring, right? So that maybe is not your thing. What we're doing is we're building programs so even if you have an interest, right, you say that I'm in this career, you can get involved and show a kid a career opportunity, right? Or a skill-based
I like that
kind
too.
of thing.
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Because some guys may be interested but wonder what would I do with a kid?
Yeah.
So give us some examples of things that, mentors do that really work with the kids.
Because I just gave you the baseball game, but what else can they do to spend time with them?
Yeah, so typically for the average, for the typical mentoring relationship, it's 2 times a month, right? You connect, we do all the work beforehand. The cool thing is the staff and the volunteers support you, right? So they give you ideas, they give you tips, but it's everything from, like what you said, Rob, you can go out to a game. You can go get something
bowling.
to eat, right?
Just a meal.
It's activities. But I will tell you the biggest thing, you ask the kid. Right.
Because, what do you want to do?
Yeah, you ask the kid what they want to do because if you go and you're connected with their interests, it makes it so much more easier. But you got to be willing to be persistent and to stay with it. And most of the time when you do that, the kid's going to drive. They're going to direct and tell you, like, I would love to do this or I would be really interested in this. And then sometimes it's exposing them to things, right? So you got something that you do. So much what we hear, and I was listening to a mentor who said they opened a kid's eyes to chess, right?
Had
no idea about
right.
chess. They had never done it. And they opened to the idea of just playing chess, and that's a mentorship opportunity.
That would be great. That would be great.
And I think Chris is right. He said he enjoyed it. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
In that just to be able to be somebody like you can bounce stuff off of and listen to, and then you see people make progress and they maybe feel a little bit better about themselves. Because most kids, I don't have any kids, but I got nieces and nephews. And a nephew, and they just want your time. They really don't want anything. Like people you think they buying kids and all that.
Right.
They just want you to care, like what's going on with them, and spend some time with them, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, I was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame luncheon today, and was just going around and was talking to all of these incredible athletes, but they are all coming back to the same thing. That the person who made a difference in their life, right? Who spent time, who spent commitment, and that's what they want to do. And this is the idea about paying it forward. And if you want to, the idea is that the one-to-one relationship, or you get in a kid's life, you make a difference in their life. But what you're doing is you're also amplifying and making a difference in the community because you're paying them for it, and that kid goes on to contribute in ways that change communities. So if you're thinking about how I address equity in this country, that's the individual action. If we want to think about how we help kids through barriers, how we deal with marginalized communities, right? There are a lot of different answers. There's not one answer, but one individual action that you can take is this time that you spend mentoring a child, particularly those young people who need us most.
No, I agree, man, and it's awesome. Now, let me ask you this. Are you able to bring any kids to the game Sunday or anything like that?
We have a group of bigs and littles who are actually going to be at the game, but we're also doing like this halftime
watch party.
Halftime. Yeah. So
on the field.
On the field.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
so y'all rocking with Dre and Mary J. Blige and Eminem and all that
because of NFL and Pepsi, right? So we just launched a relationship with Pepsi. This week, and we're going to be able to launch and bring kids on the field. And they're going to be listening.
They'll be out there with the rappers. Wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that'll be great.
That is great. All right, look, we before you go, we got to get a football question for. Are you a big football fan?
Man, I'm a huge football fan.
Okay.
I went to University of Georgia, national champions, by the way.
Oh, so I know who you pulling for. I mean, Matthew Stafford, right?
He didn't win when he was there, though. That was the only problem.
Stop it, man. Why you going there? Why you got to do that?
Were you there around? Are you younger than him, or were you? He's 34. So
I was there before him.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I graduated in '97.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there with like Andre Hastings. I saw Hines Ward a little bit. That crew. Yep.
So what's? I guess you're picking the Rams. That's who you're rooting for. But give us some breakdown, some analysis.
Yeah. Well.
Big score, blowout. Or what do you got?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be close. Because Burrow's bringing it. Man. He's bringing the fire.
Right.
But what I will say is, and I know there's been a lot of debate about this. I think Odell's going to be the difference maker.
Wow.
I think Odell's going to be the difference maker.
I think he was 6th in the odds for MVP.
Yeah.
So he's on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I want?
He's been good for them.
With time expiring, I want him to drop a touchdown and game's over. Oh, I'm sorry, Odell. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I say that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you haven't listened to the Odd Couple, this is the Odd Couple. So,
oh my goodness.
No, look, this is our man, Artis Stevens. We appreciate your time, and President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America.
Hey,
keep up the great work.
Keep doing it.
Thank you, brothers.
And you see, there are people who have been Big Brothers and love the program, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of Antonio Lowe in Cincinnati and his family he has now, and I knew that kid when he was in high school.
Yeah,
that's
man.
great.
Love
that's
it. Appreciate you, brothers.
All right, more